The shot is Carolina. Hey, what do you say?
Talkin Sauce, episode 64.
6-4.
6-4.
How y'all doing?
Good.
All right.
Jacob,
Yeah.
make your bed, dude.
That's a pile of clean clothes that I need to put away. Actually, it's not the
Jacob,
come
fold your
and
clothes,
stuff.
dude.
The point remains,
I can't,
dude.
man.
Yeah, I don't know if that's any better.
Sort
I got
yourself
you. I
out,
got
mate.
you. I got you, dude.
For real.
Whoop. Look at that. Now you're just getting my pillows. How about
Frosty
it,
ass pillows.
For
How
real.
Yeah,
about
I'd rather look at the pile of laundry.
dude?
It's Sunday. This is the day we meet. How's y'all weekend been?
Pretty good.
Good. It's been a
great.
beautiful weekend. It's kind of hot, but
It's
Very
hot.
hot.
it's hot.
It's summer finally, right? Is it summer? Actually?
I don't know.
I think
I don't
the
know,
first
dude.
day was a couple days ago. Maybe
I haven't been outside in months, dude.
Same.
we got we splurged the other day on some of those hammocks. And have been
I
going
miss
out.
outside. I miss showering. I miss
Bro, you can
deodorant.
still
do that.
shower.
You can still
I
shower.
miss.
He's
I
trying to
do
say
never
I think I miss
quarantine,
all that
dude.
stuff.
The water comes in from outside. You can't have that inside. You know what I
Damn,
mean?
you're right.
I only bathe in the
Boycott
community
shower.
pool here. So
You know where that
we
water
can't get it. We can't go into it right now.
Oh,
It is what it is.
insane. That's rough for everyone else.
Yeah. Also, is there a NASCAR race today?
Yeah, I think it's Darlington. I think it's the first one coming back. So
For
that's
sure.
I guess we got UFC, we got NASCAR. Next was baseball, maybe.
It makes sense though. 'Cause, I
Like
mean, at least for the drivers, like you have a shield. Like you're wearing like a shield.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I was talking to my
And they
dad
drive
about it.
faster than the virus travels. I'm pretty sure. I think that's
Pretty
science,
sure. But
they're just
so-
going
Is that how
in
it
circles.
That's yeah. You can't catch them.
yeah.
You can't catch them.
They do
I don't know if
anything
they're
about
doing
crowd
anything.
capacities or
I don't think there's
Well, the
anyone
virus
there.
can't handle the sound. It's too loud.
Yeah.
You
they
know?
just scurry, they just flee,
Like, oh god, yeah.
they just get out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
They don't have the earplugs, so they're like the virus is like, let's go anywhere else. And that's
They have
pretty
all
much how
those,
it
they have
goes.
all those ears too, you see.
Yeah, a lot of ears. It's an expensive thing to
Yeah.
buy earplugs for all those ears that the virus has.
that the coronavirus has.
Yeah.
All the ears.
Well, demand's messed up because of the coronavirus. So the coronavirus is having a hard time getting stuff shipped to it
Mhm.
through Amazon.
Yeah. So how's that for karma coronavirus? You know?
For real. How do you like it, Corona?
Get out of
Come
here.
on, man. Out here trying to get accessories and home goods, making it difficult. Taste your own medicine. Except not really at all.
At all.
At all. Anything else to kind of add to the day to day to the fucking
Oh, there's a good have you guys seen that Have a Good Trip documentary on Netflix?
I have not.
Ah,
Is that
Yeah,
that
so-
whole psychedelic thing?
Yeah, so it's a whole bunch of
Seen it,
comedians
like that.
basically talking about like their trips, like tripping
Oh, shit,
acid, but it's
sounds
like
good.
oh that's cool.
it's they like remake it with a whole bunch of like animation and stuff, but it's
Oh,
it's
dope.
shit. It's funny. Yeah.
That's super
Oh yeah, I
dope.
gotta check that out. Who are a couple of the comedians?
So Nick Kroll was on there, Paul
Good
Scheer was
stuff.
on there, Nick Offerman was on there. Sarah
Nick Offerman
Silverman,
seems like an ayahuasca dude.
yeah. Sarah Silverman was on there.
Sounds like a bunch of
Sting-
Netflix approved checklisted.
Basically.
Oh yeah.
Not that they're not good comedians. They're
They,
they're-
they didn't bring
those are
Joey
great.
Diaz on to talk about tripping balls, dude.
Oh,
you know what I'm
shit.
saying? With that,
that'd be a whole other thing.
That'd be a
Yeah,
whole other
for
thing.
real.
Talk about like finding his mom and shit.
Basically like having Frank Reynolds.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Closest thing to
Like-
Frank Reynolds in real life.
Other than that, it's been a boring ass week.
Did you watch some of that documentary, Cody?
Oh yeah, I already watched it. I mean, it's,
The
it's
whole
an
thing?
hour. Yeah, it's an hour and a half. It's just like one thing. So we watched it last night.
Did they
Saturday.
take like a super anti psychedelic stance? That'd be pretty funny. Just an hour
No,
and a half of like, don't ever touch this stuff.
It's very pro hallucinogenic.
Okay.
But they talk with like one of some of the doctors or whatever that are trying to use it for like PTSD and shit like that, like the microdosing. But Yeah, it's interesting. It's funny. And there's nothing else to do other than try to complete Netflix. So
You're right.
Big
keep adding
facts.
stuff on, and I just keep watching it all.
Well, you got to. You got to get that. You got to
Keep
get
up.
that platinum trophy, dude. You got to get that platinum trophy.
I was telling Jacob earlier this week I was watching some of that Solar Opposites show, that
Mhm.
sort of Rick and Morty
Mhm.
stuff. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty
It's
good.
pretty good.
I still need to watch that shit.
yeah,
That
I've
is
already
funny.
watched all of those.
Pretty funny.
Which,
So we're all
um,
doing mushrooms next week for the podcast. Sick.
Yeah.
Sick.
Definitely.
Can't
Yeah.
wait.
Are we gonna meet in person next week?
I don't know, dude.
Seems a
it's
little
in the
scary.
air.
We'll see.
I mean, I would like you to shower if we're all going to come over and do the podcast. You know what I mean?
Josh,
You
I
don't
would
have
like
to
you
brush your
shower.
teeth.
I would
I
like you to
can't. That's
shower
what the
regardless.
thing said. That's what the thing said. You can't shower.
I think we're reading different websites, man. I got to be. I think.
I get all my news through an email at trustme.org.
Okay.
Is
Okay.
Is that
Well.
what it is?
Well.
He's just on InfoWars the whole time.
Every single email's header, no subject. I click it.
I just keep listening. You know, it hasn't
Listen
steered
to
me wrong yet.
I listened to the man in the email, dude. Yo, so I got no segue for that, but it's episode 64.
6'4".
Speaking of 64,
Speaking of a guy who doesn't brush his teeth, damn.
damn, that's
Continue.
cold, man. It's
I
cold.
know it's pretty mean.
Big
Actually,
shouts out, Clark Bishop.
Mediocre
Um,
shouts out.
There's a
Cold.
lot of shade.
Stop.
Shade.
You
going
gotta
around.
keep shitting on Clark, dude.
Clark Bishop matched with my sister on Tinder while she lived in Charlotte. That's
Let's
real life fact.
Let's
real life
go.
facts.
See, here we go. Thank
Bring
you.
him on, dude.
She could have been.
Talking
She
about-
could have
talking
been
about mediocre shouts out. Just big shouts out. The man, Clark. All right, he got curved by Jacob's sister.
Damn right.
That's what's up.
It's cold.
That's real cold world.
She said that I only date NHL players.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, that's just it, man. He didn't have enough games. He played 25 career games in the NHL for a total of 4 points. He was out there. 59 points for 201 games in the AHL for the Checkers. I think he's not a two-way guy in the sense that he wouldn't move. He's Charlotte's. He's not Hurricanes property, right? Or is he
No, I'm pretty
Hurricanes?
sure he's Hurricanes property.
Okay.
If you're able to come up to the big league, I think like
that okay.
you have to be.
Gotcha. So that's going to be most of the team.
Oh yeah, huge.
That's
chunk.
going to be a gigantic chunk of the team.
Chunk. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Potentially could bury the Checkers as an idea. You know, taking all the talent and coaching out of.
And I
there.
remember too reading that was the whole thing. The idea was like they would have to get picked up by a team that has the ability to fill them back out.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Mm.
It's gonna be very. That's gonna be very interesting to watch coming in the next season for sure.
Yeah. But not many other notable 64s. You know what I'm saying? Guy in the Hurricane system. Michael
Yeah.
Granlund's another one.
There's a Mikael Granlund that can suck it. You know, you gotta play in
He
Carolinas.
He
dude.
doesn't have to be. He doesn't
He
have
ha-
to suck
it has
We
to
just,
be
like,
that
could-
way, dude. We're
right.
drawing
Do or
hard
die.
lines. We're drawing hard lines in the sand, dude.
So yes
For
or no,
sure, dude.
0-1.
It's rough. Big shouts out. So speaking of Hurricanes, though, I don't know anything. You know what I'm saying?
no one knows anything.
The only thing I really know, so they're the Hurricanes emailed out all the season ticket members, basically saying that if you had any remaining game credits or something, you could use it towards next season.
So how does that fuck me for games that I haven't picked for next season?
Nothing. Doesn't do a damn
Okay.
thing.
They're actually
You
going
still
to
gotta
tell
play.
you can't be a season ticket holder. They're like,
Right.
The
"Listen,
other thing
it's
too,
not-"
and I haven't done any looking into it. I was supposed to pick tickets again. Like I'm not worried about it. There's other priorities. Although I think like most of those are taken care of. Like employees are getting paid. You got this. Like what's up, bro? Like what's my deal, man? Hit me
Actually,
up.
I do care. No, actually, it's at the top of my list.
Matter of fact, let's go. It's up here. I'm up here with it. No,
You,
so
you
I mean,
don't
like,
you don't actually pick anything until the off season.
I
You're talking
thought I
about
was
like
supposed
your nah.
I
You're
thought I
talking
was
about like
supposed
your
to pick in
seats
April.
or your. I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Okay,
might-
I'm tripping.
Yeah,
I could be tripping.
I don't think so.
I
think it's
remember
more
when I
the
got it all
offseason.
set up and through the conversation, I had thought she had said April was the time. I could be totally tripping. I'm not the one who's like looking at the website, remembering
Yeah.
and doing my due diligence. So
Yeah, I don't know, but we had like $500 or $600 left in tickets, and they basically said like if you don't do anything, then it'll just transfer over to next year, or you can request a like your money back. I was hoping that they were going to do at least something where it was like 120% of your game credit if you kept it next season. A lot of companies are doing that, giving you a little bit of extra something for all of this. But I don't know.
And they'll make the refund process a runaround. You'll get your money
I
back.
have to.
You'll get your money back.
That's why I'm not even trying to fuck with it. I was like, just put it towards next year. I'm not even trying to get that money back and then put it back in.
Wonder, not that there's many people that use as an example, but I wonder if you got already the full 82 in the bag, or excuse me, the full 41 in the bag. Are you gonna like more games that season, or like next season, or
It does kind of, if they're already offering that like refund or move it up, kind of makes it seem like that they've given up on the continuation of this season in a capacity that we'd be able to go see the Hurricanes play.
It did say that if those games were made available again, then we would have the first priority to buy back those tickets. I think at this point they were just trying to like get out in front of it, like, hey, we're doing something, right? Yeah.
Well, and to my point, bickering about what I want and all that bullshit, fans are asking. Fans have been asking, even way before they talked about like what they were doing for employees. Fans were asking about what was the deal with their shit. So
people got thousands of dollars even in like the remaining games or something.
Big investments. And we mentioned this before. It comes up a lot. The Hurricanes fans are a very passionate fan base, and so if they're investing their money, it's hard. They're fans who earn their money the hard way in some cases. If they're spending money on tickets, they want to show up. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You said earning money the wrong way, and I'm just imagining
I said the hard
strippers,
way. I said the hard way. I said the wrong way.
Hookers at games.
Also, there's nothing wrong with being
There's no wrong way here. Come on,
we've all seen Ozark, dude. You know what I mean?
Putting dicks in my mouth. I mean words in my mouth.
For money.
Got to get to those games.
For money. For free, whatever.
Look, man. I just need to go in for one period, all right?
Dude, who was it? Did I send you or did I show you just a video of that guy? He's like delivering a bunch of cans to a gas station of like different alcohol beverages, and
I don't think I've seen
he's like, and he's like holding his phone. He's like, man, let me tell y'all, I'm trying to do my job. This guy comes up playing with me. He comes up to me. He's like, and he's walking, showing all the different beers. He's like, this guy said, man, I'll suck your dick for 2 White Claws. And as he's walking over, it shows the pack of White Claws. There's ripped open. There's 2 missing. And dude's just like, and I told him, man, get out of my face with that. Dude just cuts off.
That shit's hilarious.
I love that, dude. It's so funny. Yeah, so I mean, about time. Good, but also good for them for getting it sorted out in whatever way. I mean, they're gonna take care of their fans.
Yeah. Only the
we knew they had time. It's like not like anything's happening yet, so there's nothing it would be a hurry up and wait situation anyway. So, but
only other Canes thing that I saw was they were NHL or NBC, I think, was doing a poll for all-time Hurricanes versus all-time Isles, and it was Francis, Brindy, Eric Stahl, Falk, Wesley Wardo.
Before you name them all off, what kind of fucking rabbit out of the hat matchup is this, dude? This is how you know we really don't have a rival. Like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Like, you're just trying to like make some poll shit, but like, what kind of matchup? What is this matchup?
So this was
we played them last year in the playoffs. Like,
yeah, this was round 1. So I don't know, who else is playing, but I would have liked to see us against like maybe someone with a shorter history.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was Francis.
This is the team. This is the franchise that won 4 Stanley Cups,
right?
Back to back. And
that's why I don't even think it was really that fair, because they had Tavares, Trotter, Bossy, Potvin, Person, and then Billy Smith.
To name a few.
That was their lineup just with those top 3 though. Like,
yeah.
I didn't think that Wesley should have been in there.
Well, I cut you off. But you were saying Francis, Brandy, Stahl, Falk, Wesley, and Ward.
Yeah.
And that's just it. Like, it's you compare those 2 lists, and if you ask like a passionate Canes fan, they'll be like, yeah, that's
dude. Any given day, man. Any given day.
Couple of those.
But why is Falk on there, bro? Why is Falk on there, bro? Like, why is Falk on that list?
Dude, do you not realize that, like, numbers aside, Falk is probably one of the most prolific offensive defensemen in Hurricanes history?
Like maybe.
Yeah, that's not a
I
long
hate
list,
it.
though.
I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I'd rather see Cabriolet up there, dude. Cabriolet, Hedekin. Probably controversial. I don't want to see Falk on it. I'd rather see
Did
Dougie.
Caberlet play here that long?
I think he was with us when we won the cup, wasn't he?
He was.
That's all I'm thinking about, dude.
That's fair, dude.
give me 2006 Cabriolet. That's the only one.
You gotta
That's the
cling to
only
those-
one that's real.
You gotta cling to those years, dude.
Oh yeah,
There's a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of hard years out there.
it's the only
feel it.
thing keeping me a hockey fan is that 06 year, dude.
But did we say the numbers of the poll?
We did not. Who
No.
won?
So yeah, it was 37% Canes, 63% Islanders.
So it was close.
Which makes sense. I mean, it makes sense. And I don't even know if that was the final. That was just when I saw it.
And most of that 37%.
There were still 6 days left on it, and by the end, we were buried in that poll.
Most of that 37% is just other people that hate the Islanders. Like it wasn't even Canes fans. They're just like fuck the Islanders.
It was just Rangers fans who despise us, but would rather pick us than the Islanders any day.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, the Rangers fans just they deleted the NHL app or Instagram app, whichever.
Like, actually, this ain't even worth it anymore, really.
Yeah, they're like, fuck it. All right. Well, I mean, do we want to use that to cut?
Sounds good.
Oh shit!
What just
That's
happened?
weird.
That was weird.
Josh is giant on my screen.
Oh, what is it happening?
Whoa.
Why does it keep? Who keeps changing this shit?
Dylan broke it. Stop changing who we are.
Ah!
I mean, kind of interested. How do you think this is gonna change the way the video is recorded, if any?
It won't.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
I think the whole point is that like right now everyone can see me, everyone can see you. Terrible. But yeah,
It's disrespectful.
we should end it for sure.
All right,
Wait.
end it. End it all.
Yo, have either of you guys gone hunting? Because y'all both got fucking deer heads up there.
It's a
No.
it's a
I was about to say, I just wouldn't have pegged either of you guys
it's an
for
honoring of our
hunters.
elders type thing. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
All right.
Our forefathers killed those beasts, and so we
Fed the
display them
family for many a
Dags.
winter.
we display them on the walls so our ancestors provide us protection.
Mhm.
That's the
Like some
Trying to-
real brother bear shit.
some real Native American.
Yeah, that brother bear. when
Straight up, Grandma Shirley will tell you that we're like 30% Cherokee, and we'll be
Yo,
like, Grandma,
for real,
like,
dude.
no, we're not. Like, we're not.
Like
no,
even if
aren't.
we are, we're not. Like we're not.
Straight up, dude.
I don't know. You guys can get some money for that, dude.
I'm cool
Yo,
on that.
Doesn't does Dakota still pull that scam or what?
Oh, yeah, probably.
You're dating her.
Yeah. That
No,
was
buddy,
literally my first thought. I was like, wait a minute.
our buddy from school, who's like the whitest guy you've probably ever met. He's got he's got an official like Cherokee card, and like he's recognized Cherokee.
So he's like one of those guys who has
Whatever.
like an expired military ID, who like was never in the army and comes and gets free blooming onions on Veterans Day at Outback
Yeah, he was-
Steakhouse.
Jumping in off of, talk about the Canes doing the COVID game credit, stuff like that. The NHL still looking at how they're going to return to play following this whole pandemic thing. And there's been talks of, are they going to try to continue the season? Are we going to jump straight to playoffs? And it seems like the league as a whole is leaning towards jumping into just the playoffs. There's a lot of pushback from teams who would be out of playoff contention, saying
Fuck
like what's the point of us coming back and playing, putting our players and everything at risk when
Right.
it's literally pointless for them. So they're looking at doing maybe like a 24 team, maybe a 20 team playoff situation, where they would centralize it to the four places where the four divisions would meet together and play. And from what I was reading something on The Athletic this morning. They would lean towards like the Hurricanes not playing in Raleigh. Like the teams wouldn't be playing in their home arenas. Basically, you wouldn't
But-
have any. They get rid of the home team advantage aspect of it all.
Is PNC still a possibility of other games being played?
I don't think so. I don't think it is. I think from a travel standpoint, they're trying to minimize travel as much as possible. But also that could probably one of those things that could change if it needed to too. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
feel, especially now that depending on when it starts, that our new practice facility might be open, which is a big part of being able to play the games here, giving teams a place to be able to actually practice and do stuff like that. Because there's a couple rinks in the facility and everything.
I don't know if it's gonna be that close to being ready though.
Yeah.
I don't know either.
I mean, they're moving on it, but I think it's still got a little ways.
Yeah, and I'm sure if it came down to it, I bet they could, prioritize certain parts of construction too. All right, are the rinks done? Are the locker rooms done? Can you get to and from both without, interfering with anything else? Then
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
a possibility.
We've talked about it before that the city makes sense, but it
Yeah.
also seems like every time these different cities that make sense get talked about as good spots for neutral sites, they also at the same time get brought up as, oh no, they're out of the conversation.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like,
I would think-
what's even happening.
So do you guys think with the 24 team idea, I think it makes sense because I would assume that there were probably 7 that were already out of playoff contention. Do you think that 7 is about right, or do you think that there were any more that were eliminated?
I think there was more than 7. I think that might as well have been. I know there was talk like Chicago and there's another one, but that's another problem that teams are having with the 24 is that they were like, well, there were teams that were all but out of it, near as the season was drawing to a close before everything
Right.
stopped, and now these teams are going to get like this whole second chance at
Well, and I
running
guess
into the
there's
playoffs and everything.
yeah, and there's a difference between like statistically out of it and like most likely they're not going to catch anybody.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
wonder how many were like statistically out of it. 'Cause
I think
obviously-
statistically it was like just Detroit.
I was gonna say because then like that they have nothing to argue about. 'Cause they
Yeah,
weren't gonna make it
yeah.
in regardless of whether they won the rest of their games. But
Yeah, I think Detroit's trying to get to those golf courses as soon as possible. Like, let's just end the season, open back up, let me go play golf.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, regardless of where anyone was set up, I think it's going to come down to a situation where the top teams, the top like 4 teams roundabout in the conference are going to get buys. Everyone else is playing play-in games. And then
See,
from there you have your
that's
playoffs.
another those top teams are actually against that from the stuff I've been reading. They in their mind, getting those buys would actually be a disadvantage coming off of because teams have been resting this whole time. So teams that would get to those play-in games get a chance to get back into their rhythm before ever moving on to play like the higher seeded teams
Well,
too.
fucking scrimmage or something. I'm just saying that's
Well,
that's
and
the reasoning that might end up being the top seeded idea. Like what the fuck else you gonna do?
They have everybody play. I was reading it was in that article Cody you sent me this morning. Basically, have everybody play not like seeding games, but have like a round robin where every team in each division would play every team in each division one time, and then I think after that, then maybe there's some sort of
There's a
bye
bye,
situation, maybe.
I like that.
But
idea.
it might be just like the bottom teams out of that just get like the bottom 2 teams like, all right, see ya, you're out of the playoffs now, and then they just jump right into elimination games after that. Do a round robin just to see who stays. Top seed plays bottom seed. Do like whatever it is, and then just right into regular playoffs.
Yeah,
And then they still don't know if they're going to do 7-game series or what that looks like. But
well, the committee to return to play was talking about all this over the weekend. I think that was the biggest progress in the talks they've had thus far, and they're set to do more talks. That's all per Pierre LeBrun there via the Twitter there. I mean, I don't know. It sounds like progress. It doesn't also sound like anything new at all. Maybe we're close to getting something happening. I don't know.
maybe.
Maybe not.
I just
I am
want
seeing
like
I am
some.
seeing more people say cancel the season. That's starting to pop up more and more.
Well, yeah, I
It
mean,
is
Interesting.
as it keeps going on, there's less hope that even if there is a season, there'll be anything worth watching.
Yeah. And there's just so much weird stuff that's going to come about it. Like we were talking about, you're looking at these teams that were selling at the deadline, gathering assets for next season. Now they're going to get the chance to play huge upset for a team that, worked hard, were staying like top 2, 3 in their division or whatever. And, if I was a team like that, if I was a team like Washington and I got booted by like, I don't know, like the Rangers, I don't know who the bottom team, but like I'd be pissed because it's, they went out, they got
Oh yeah,
Kovalchuk, they went out and got Brendan Dillon. You're like, all right, let's make this playoff push. And then you have a team like New York that was kind of, selling off kind of, but I can see where people would be upset.
They're gonna get pissed if they get booted out by the Hurricanes.
I mean, you're right, but it's just but a team like New York may not have been in the playoffs in a typical season. You know what I mean?
That's just it. But like, we're literally arguing not we, but like people in that case are arguing hypotheticals over what can no longer ever be. Like it's like, well, this isn't typical, so you're going to get an untypical result. You're going to get an untypical playoff setup.
Yeah.
Whether it's a straight up, bye going in with teams playing short round games or like a round robin to set up the seeding, it is what it is at this point.
And you got to think the league wants as many of those big market teams in the playoffs as possible to try to make up for all this bottom line loss.
So Chicago's going to get that shot to upset.
Chicago's going to get the shot. Montreal is going to get the shot. The Rangers are going to get the shot. Like they want as much. They want as many eyes, as many clicks, as many views. They're trying to make up for as much money as possible. As a fan of the league, I'm on their side about it because I want, I don't want there to be financial ramifications for the next 5 years in the league if possible. You know what I mean?
I'm all for coming back. I'm all about for however they want to do it. I'm all for how many ever teams they decide to do it with. Stop fucking around about it. Only do it if it's safe to do it. And if not, put the fucking fork in it. That's how I feel about it.
I still can't stop thinking about the shit we talked about last week with the fishbowl and no more fighting and no more anything. Like I was thinking about that the other day.
Some real Twilight Zone shit. Some Black Mirror hockey shit. Come on.
You're gonna watch some documentary, some 30 for 30 on like how coronavirus changed the NHL.
Dude, probably it's
for the better.
Leagues gonna change
for the better.
I think it's gonna change every league, dude. Honestly.
Yeah.
It's true.
Except for NASCAR.
Except for NASCAR.
It'll always be racist. I know
not,
also too.
Not like the NHL.
A little bit more on what pushbacks are causing with the league. Excuse me. There was the talk of having the draft sometime in June. I think that's far and far less likely now. It's almost the end of May, and there's nothing really coming out concrete about it. So I don't see how.
What do they do?
July.
What do they do? Let's say they cancel the season, no playoffs, no nothing, right? How do you fucking seed out all those picks? Do you just go based on where you were at in the standings and just that's the pick that you end up with? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Yeah. And maybe still have a lottery based on the lows. I mean,
because I'd be
about it, they were going to do the same thing for the playoffs.
Yeah, but you got to think who was even number one in the league? I can't even remember. Who was the top team?
Like Boston. Or somebody.
Okay. If I was a Boston fan, if I was Boston front office, I'd be like, oh, so we're gonna get the 31st overall pick. No Stanley Cup, no playoff money coming in, no playoff games. It's an
argument. It's an argument, but then again, back to the whole teams jumping into the playoffs, you're gonna be the same. So you're gonna have the same people making the arguments for, all right, well, we're not gonna have a shot because you went with this setup where the teams are in it now, and we still had games left to play. It's like they're equally weighted for bullshit. It's just something's gonna get fucked up. Someone's gonna lose. It's almost like I don't want to hear it in terms of like people's different arguments for how this is gonna boo-hoo them, because it's like we're all getting everyone is getting fucking boo-hooed. We're all getting fucking woes mead out here with especially especially with like the ideal situations for fucking sports. Like it's all gonna get fucked up.
It's interesting. So I'm looking at the standings right now. So Detroit was the only statistically eliminated team. If you take out the 7, the 2 last to make it in are Montreal and Chicago. So those are those big markets that we were talking about. That's interesting.
Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm if they cancel, I'm very interested to see how they would. I think that's why they would want to do the playoffs more than anything, because then it's like, from the league's point of view, it's taken out of their hands as far as making the decision about who's going to get what draft picks and who's like that kind of thing.
Right.
Because I mean, those
that's a
are
solution.
long term. Yeah, those are long term ramifications, definitely of this of the shutdown.
Good idea or not, there's way more pros than cons for the league to resume play. I mean,
yeah, from the league,
from the league's perspective,
definitely,
yeah, for
absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, but
it's gonna be very interesting.
Speaking of interesting, dude, what the fuck's going on, dude? What the fuck is going on with some athletes, like forgetting that they have
high profile?
Yeah, that they don't have to go back to the ways that they used to be. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to go back to childhood knucklehead type ways. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck's going on? These are probably young guys too, I assume, right?
Well, so all right, so yeah, to back up, so Quentin Dunbar, I know he's been in the league for a minute, because both of these guys were like lower level defensive secondary players. But I've known of Quentin Dunbar, but it was him and DeAndre Baker arrested for armed robbery. And the story that I heard, it was over a card game, and apparently they had lost cumulatively a week ago or something like $70,000 in the card game. So
Michael Jordan card games,
right? So they go to play a game the other night, and I've heard 2 different stories. I heard one that they won, and the other people didn't pay up, so they found them later in a cookout, robbed them for their watches and shit, anything they had on them. I also heard that they lost that game and they were robbing back the money that they had lost. So I don't know if they won or lost, but either way, they rolled up on these dudes at a cookout and fucking with, I think, 2 or 3 handguns, took a whole bunch of watches. It was 2, like, apparently a couple of the watches were, like $1,000 watches, and there was one of them that was like a fake.
Someone got outed for
watch.
having. I read the thing too, and they listed off like a $6,000 this watch, $8,000 Rolex, a $600 fake this watch. So it's like, all right, well, whoever was rocking this brand was rocking the fake rocking the fake wrist.
Someone was way more stressed about getting outed for having fake jewelry than they were that they got robbed. They're like, God damn it, dude.
Even reading the whole breakdown of it, I was like, this sounded like a situation where, like, when they showed up, they confronted like the dudes who they had beef with, but then like someone else walked in the room and they're like, hands up. And then someone else came in, they're like, hands up too, man. Like, fuck, like, all right, well, empty your pockets, like. And it was like an Always Sunny situation where they had to keep robbing people. They just kept coming into the room. Oh, man.
It's interesting. So I read, they were talking about the value amounts of the watches and the shit they took. And apparently if that watch was real, like whatever it was supposed to be, then that would have upped the charge to a different amount, to a higher felony, basically, because, it's that's why they were figuring out how much everything was worth, because they had to see how much was stolen, basically. But apparently,
they're praying for fake shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but you can't do anything with it. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I would love to see like Ovechkin and Crosby rob some people at a car.
Dude, I would love it if Ovi and Crosby ran up and ran down on somebody, dude. I would fucking.
Maybe that's why Crosby keeps his personal life such on the hush, dude. He's really running some organized crime shit behind the scenes.
Dude. Oh, yeah.
I feel like Crosby throws mad sevens. That man just.
Rolling dice.
Maybe Dyson, dude.
Dude,
bet.
He's got those fucking face stomping legs too. Let me tell you, Crosby is one guy I would not like to get kicked in the head by, dude. You know what I'm saying?
When Crosby threatens you, he just he has pants that are rippable, so he just shows you some of his thigh.
They're not even rippable. He just flexes his legs and his tight pants, and they all pop out, dude. Bam!
Awesome.
Look at my quads.
That's hilarious. Yeah, well, those guys are fucked.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Fetch and Dougie rolling up on scooters.
Speaking of Ovechkin. Speaking of Ovechkin, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've talked about this before. I think we've done this a couple different ways, but I think now is a good time. There's not much else going on. I wanted to do a little bit of a deeper dive into the possibility and the current chase that's going on of Ovechkin going after Gretzky's goal record.
Josh is like, I'm tired of hearing about the league coming back. Let's talk about Ovechkin scoring goals. That's the topic that doesn't get covered enough in the
Because
NHL.
whether the league comes
Yeah,
back
right.
or not, he can still do this. Whether the league comes back or not, he can continue to score goals. It's fine.
Is your did you assume the league's not coming back and whatever this
Yeah.
what it is you're about
With
to
all
break
these
down?
stats.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
I
dude,
got
let's hear it.
numbers.
Let's
I got
hear it.
numbers for him missing games this season and how many goals he could be missing out on. It's not that many, but
Okay.
The only thing standing between Ovi and that record is coronavirus.
at this point, yes. Otherwise, it's himself.
And a possible
but yes,
charge for robbing people,
pending.
pending.
Yeah, for sure. But let's break it down, right? So first, looking at the great one, Mr. Gretzky. Man's got 894 goals in 1487 games. He played 20 years in the NHL. Okay. He has an average of 0.6 goals a game. Ovechkin, currently with 706 goals and 1152 games, he's played 15 years, so he's got a 5-year less time in the league than Gretzky had. But his average is a little bit better at 0.61, 0.613, if you want to be a dick about it. I don't know what games Gretzky missed. I didn't really go back that deep for that because what he has is what he has. So, that's what Ovi has to beat, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I did want to take a little look at what Ovi had missed. Guy doesn't take injuries. Guy doesn't take any injuries pretty much at all. He missed 34 games in the 12-13 season due to the lockout. He lost out on about a potential 22 goals that year based on his pace at the time, but he had 32 goals in 48 games that year. Absolute fucking monster. He was averaging almost fucking 0.7 goals a game.
Juice.
Yeah. And yeah, for sure. And then this year to now missed 14 games due to the pandemic. He could have had an additional 9 or 10 extra goals this year. But he still scored 48 in 68 games, 0.706 goals per game, dude. Dude's an absolute beast. So he's absolutely frying, right? He's scoring goals. That's not the issue. He has a pretty sick pace. He has a better career pace than Gretzky did to this point. But I wanted to look at over the past 5 seasons how he's done to kind of see okay, well, he's played for 15 years this far. How has he done lately? So going back to 15-16, he scored 50 goals in 79 games, had a 0.63. His worst out of all 5 of these years was in 16-17. 82 full season, he had 33 goals and a 0.4 goal per game average. So that's and I remember too, people were like, oh, is Ovechkin slowing down? And I think then he was in his late 20s. He was his late 20s, maybe 30 years old. And people were like, oh, is Ovechkin starting to slow down? Well, this makes sense. Ovechkin slow down. And then the next year, the whole story started to change immediately. 82 games, 49 goals, almost 50. He had a 0.59. The next year, 81 games, 51 goals. He eclipses 50 with 0.63. The next year, being this year, he's improving on his pace again, 48 goals and 68. He was on pace for a 57 goal season. He was going to be 6 short of his career high. So what I also wanted to note too, in that past 5 seasons, right? He had his worst statistical year of the 5 at 0.4, only scoring 33 and 82. But from there, he's only getting better. 0.59, 0.63, and 0.07. He's getting better each year as he's getting older.
Do you think that's because he's getting better or that team around him's getting better?
Both. I mean, regardless if it's him dialing his shot in, not teams not being able to figure out how to stop that, or just the team, around him being able to set him up better. I think it's both because he's played with a lot of the same guys for so long.
Well, to say Baxter just re-signed this year,
they're just gelled in. I mean, they're dialed in. So the power play, for example, is just an absolute is there's not a more comfortable power play in the NHL. You know what I mean? They're so
because the man doesn't move. He doesn't move.
Well, right, because he doesn't have to, right? Because everyone knows how to move around him to pass him the puck, and teams don't know how to stop it. There's a few personalities that describe it best, where they're they know where he's going, they know he's going to be right there, and there's literally nothing they can do about it.
I think that's the most frustrating thing. Is everyone knows where he's going to be, and no one can do anything.
No one can do shit.
And part
So-
of that, you got Carlson, Backstrom, Oshie, and is Wilson on that? Do they have Wilson on the power plays like a net front guy?
I think it's Kuzi.
Kuzi. You're right, 100%.
Kuzi's out there,
Kuznetsov,
yeah, starting, but yeah.
So it's just like, because Oshie's their net front guy. That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, Kuznetsov. So everyone knows he's there, but you can't leave Oshie open in the middle or
Yeah.
Can't leave any of
Backstrom
those guys
open on the
unprotected.
wall. Yeah, it's just a
They
gross
can all do
power
it.
play for sure.
So yeah, I mean, and regardless of what it is, and shouts out to the management for setting up a team that allows Ovi to do his thing. I mean, it's just a perfect situation for him to just completely explode.
So do you have the pace he needs to?
Oh, he's
break
got
that
the
record?
pace, right? So note first and foremost, he's only getting better since 16-17 pace wise.
Okay.
At this point, he's 34 years old. This
Mhm.
coming September, he'll be 35. To match Gretzky's games played, and this will all make sense in a second, he needs 335 additional games just to match that same amount of time in the league.
Okay.
So if he plays just that amount of time at his current career average, he's going to score an additional 205 goals, which will put him at 911, which is 17 higher than Gretzky's record. So at his current pace, if he plays the same number of games, which is a full four seasons more in the league, he'll be 39, maybe 40 years old. He will beat Gretzky's record by 17 goals, which really, to be honest, isn't exactly blowing it out of the water.
yeah.
He's got to be
I-
consistent.
He's got to be consistent, or he's got to stack, the next 2-3 seasons. Because what's the goal? What's the goal average? Let's say if he scored the same amount of goals until every season until he's 39, what's the goal average where he breaks the record?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't have that.
So would it be like 40 goals a season, something like that? Would that be?
Well, so if he needs, I guess let me just do that quick math then. It's just some quick maths.
yeah. Some quick
So
maths, 'cause-
he needs 205 based on the number of games left to play. I had said. I'm bugging. Hold on.
Because while you're doing that, I got really tired of the ear hair or whatever, like the side, like wearing hats or whatever.
Sideburns.
So I was just like, fuck it. And just I just shaved the sides and kept the back.
Dude, keeping it full metal, bro.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that's heavy metal as fuck, dude. I'd look out for you in the pit, dog. If I was in the pit with you, dude, I'd be like,
Yeah.
I was like, man, I don't need to do anything. I can wear hats all the time.
32.
Speaking of pit.
33.
Dude, I'd do 33 goals for the next 5 seasons or whatever.
Yeah.
So if he stacks the next 2 or 3 seasons with he knocks some 50-goal seasons down, that leaves him room for a little bit of tail off.
Or if they even give him, if he can play somehow the rest of these regular season games.
That's true, too.
Help
That's
pad
true,
it out a
too.
little bit.
It's true, too.
Another thing interesting, too. So it's the point there, it's doable, right? It's very doable. It's exciting. Someone can actually beat the great ones, one of the great ones' point records.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another possibility, right? Imagine someone scoring 1,000 goals in the NHL. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ovi could do it. He would need 294 more goals just to match 1,000. Based on his career average, he would need about 480 more games to do it. That's basically 6 more seasons. He would be 41, 42 years old. What do you think?
I mean, Russian science is good, dude.
Cody
You know
doesn't
what
want.
I'm saying?
Cody doesn't want to believe it. Cody doesn't want to believe.
It's not that I don't want to believe. I just
You're the reason magic isn't real, bro.
I
Like
don't
like
see
fairies,
him,
leprechauns. You don't
I don't
believe in them,
see
they
him
die because of you.
increasingly getting better and the goalies not getting better. Because I feel like goaltending is, compared to 20 years ago when Gretzky was playing, goaltending is, way up in, goals are down. It's just more athletic goalies. I don't
totally agree with that.
I don't.
One thing
I don't
you're not
see,
thinking about: what if they make the nets bigger, which they won't, but what if they do? B, the sticks are getting better.
Sticks
are getting better.
Yeah.
He's not going to get any weaker.
I see him beating. I see him beating Gretzky. I don't see him hitting 1,000.
Look at
But-
If I was an Ovechkin fan, I would want as few changes as possible to keep as many asterisks off of the record as possible. You know what I mean?
What do you
Like
think?
you were saying,
No
of like
bigger
if the Nets get bigger, then even if Ovechkin
For
breaks
sure.
the record, hits 1,000, people are gonna be like, well, you know.
If you want to talk about asterisks, I think it goes both ways. Where it's like if there's the easy to go to argument if Ovechkin played in Gretzky's time, he'd
Well, I mean,
triple the record.
But that's
that-
hypothetical. That's not really a.
Yeah,
I'm saying the asterisks being like, if they make Nets bigger, if they
Hypothetical.
if they make changes to make scoring significantly easier in this era, I think that would just put a huge asterisk. And I wouldn't want to see that. I'd like to see him beat it
I agree.
by the same way that the game's been played for, however long till they made the last big changes. But
Yeah.
And I still
for
think.
sure.
I mean, I'll stand by it. Like, obviously, like fuck the Capitals, but it's definitely more. I think. Sorry, Squirrel keeps putting me on fucking full
I
screen.
know it's really fucking
It's
annoying.
so
Like, you think you're doing
disorienting.
a thing. It's just distracting. Like it's only
It's so
distracting.
disorienting. No, I think it's. What are you doing producing over there? No, I think it's I definitely think it's more impressive what Ovechkin's doing compared to what Gretzky did. Like I said, just because they play at a different time. I was going to look up earlier today at the percentage of goals scored like in a year, like what Gretzky had, goal percentage per year compared to what Ovechkin. Didn't have enough time to crunch all those numbers, but I would guarantee you would think that Ovechkin probably has a higher percentage of total goals in a season than Gretzky did.
what do you
Yes,
like?
Scoring was up.
You can base that now just off the average. Because
Well,
his
no,
average
because that's average per game. I'm talking about average, like
No, this
in the
is-
league. There were more people scoring more goals when Gretzky was playing than.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I see what you're saying.
So, like,
Yeah.
if Gretzky had 3% of all goals scored, during his time playing, compared to Ovechkin, probably has a little bit higher than that.
I've definitely seen stuff like that put together, and there's definitely things to that. I think he stands, dude. I think Ovechkin actually stands like with some of those guys in the 80s and shit. Like you put his numbers just next to theirs, and it looks like as if he just lived in that era. It is absolutely outstanding. I don't know. I think
Clearly-
he can beat 1,000. My point to showing that comparison is that if he plays that long and simply continues the current pace he has, which in the past 4 years has only improved, he could do it.
Do you see him retiring in the KHL? Because then none of those goals count, right? I mean, if he takes off when he's 39, 40, 41, he plays those last 3 years.
If he retires in the KHL, he would have already beaten the Gretzky record, and he would have retired from the NHL in such a way that, like, we would have we're already accepting of his departure. I don't think he's not going to leave in a Datsuk way where he's just like, all right, I got to go now. Like that's not going to happen. I think he's too important to the game. I mean, Datsuk never even really fucking learned English. So it's a thing where he could do it. It was fine. Ovechkin is the face of the league in a sense, whether some people accept it or not. So no, I mean he's gonna he'll play for a different team before he goes to the KHL.
Okay.
On some Tom Brady shit.
I think we're really boring Squirrel with this talk.
Yeah, for real.
I think Squirrel just likes fucking things up and being a distraction and a troll. That's what I think.
Hold on.
The payoff will be worth it.
Well, I don't know
will.
about that.
The payoff will be worth everyone come to a halt. We're gonna wait. There it is. So worth it. So you can find us
Continue.
at Talkin Sauce Pod.
For this riveting fucking
It
content.
looks funnier far away in the top thumbnail. 'Cause it's gross.
This is absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, you can find us at Talkin Sauce Pod. No underscore. Respect the underscore. If you're listening, check us out on YouTube. If you're watching, check us out on Spotify and other places where you stream things.
Flip-flop.
Cancellation Cup, it's coming up.
Flip flop. Check us out on Flip Flop.
Check us out on Flip Flop.
Floppy.
You'll find me at Jacob, JAY_COBBB. Josh, where they get you at?
Teebs, TEABZZ.
Cody, where they get you at?
CD_2187.
Dylan, where they get you at?
You can find me. Hold on. You can find me at you teabags your mom 69420 lowercase x capital X. That is me, Alexander Ovechkin, on Reddit. That is my handle. As you can see, I am Alexander Ovechkin. Good talk on my stats. I appreciate the bump, Josh.
Josh, this is a big moment, dude. You're getting a personal shout out from Ovi.
Yeah, dude.
It's a big moment for Ovechkin.
We paid like
gave him a bump.
$500 for this cameo.
Yeah, for real.
$500, more like 50,000.
Dude, this is the biggest media placement Ovechkin's had thus far in his career, dude.
This is true. This is true.
Y'all have a good week.